Hello everybody, it is Chimpso here, coming back again with another Proxy Singed commentary. Sorry it's been quite a while since I did the last one. I've had to get some recordings to actually make and I didn't get many good ones. So here's a nice one for you. Today we're looking at the new item, the Zz'Rot portal, the Zz'Rot portal. I don't know, it's gonna be one of those names in League of Legends like Nasus or fucking Vi that no one knows how to pronounce properly, even though Riot has the correct pronunciation, but I don't think we have one for the Zz'Rot portal yet, so I'm just going to call it the Zz'Rot portal. Or you call it the ZZ Top portal. Whatever. Good band, ZZ Top. So, this is a ranked game, Platinum 5. We're playing against the Lissandra top lane. Hecarim jungle. Hecarim recently got buffed, so he's going to be a bit difficult this game. We're going to get camped, but that camp is going to allow bot lane to snowball a bit, so lucky us. Going to do the standard fast start here. We're going to pick up the portal after our rallies because alright, let's go over some basics of the portal. So basically it costs I think 2000 somewhere between 2,500 and 3,000 gold, I don't recall correctly. But it costs quite a bit of gold. It provides 50 armor, 50 magic resist, and 100% base health regeneration. So it doesn't seem that great at the start, but it also provides that sweet active, which I'm sure we've all heard about. Unfortunately, this is disabled at the moment because of a bug that has to do with disconnects, I believe. But it, yeah, it provides hybrid resistances, which is really helpful, and it has that passive which allows tanks to push lanes really well. But there are very particular ways to use it. You have to be very careful when placing it. It, you know, only lasts for 2.5 minutes and has a 2.5 minute cooldown and can be destroyed quite easily with auto attacks. So you have to be strategic in your placement, and you have to use it to supplement a split push and not create a split push of your own. That's a common misconception I see of this item. Everyone's trying to use it to just create a split push, just drop it in a lane and walk away. That's not how you're meant to use it. You're meant to build it on tanks who, you know, will be split pushing with teleport, but they can't do shit to towers like Singed, because Singed, you know, Singed can slap a tower down, but it takes forever. With this new portal, it takes significantly less time if you use it effectively. So we're going to start off with the proxy here, fairly early. Don't want to lane against Lissandra. Try to not lane against her as much as we can. We're going to go for our tier early on, and Merc Treads as well. She's going to come in here a bit early, but she's not going to do anything. So, yeah. A lot of people have been saying that this new item is a bit gold inefficient. The truth is, it's about 85% gold efficient, I believe. Now, without the active, of course. But here's the thing. It provides hybrid resistances. Now, for a champion like Singed, that's pretty damn good, because Singed gains no MR per level. So, oftentimes in matchups like this, where they have, you know, AP top, AP mid, they have an AP as rule this game, you would want to go for a magic resist item. But at the same time, if you do that, and the enemy AD carry magically gets a triple kill somehow, then you're sort of boned because you only have armor, magic resist, and the AD carry is now a really big threat. So this item helps alleviate that quite a bit because it gives you both armor and magic resist. So that, in my opinion, is actually worth the 15% gold trade-off because it's one of the early, or is it the only item in the game that does that, I believe. And it's also great for tanks that want to split push, like Singed, who can't do any damage to towers. So, we're going to be, just continue proxying here. Don't want to go anywhere near Lissandra early on. See Hecarim there on the ward. Lissandra's coming down, so we're going to go for an execute here. We're not going to be rushing the Zz'Rot portal because it does provide no health whatsoever. It does provide health regeneration, but no health. So instead we're going to get our tier first, or we're going to probably rush our Merc Treads. Going to get our tier, and going to get our Rallies, which is going to give us a good bit of health to help with our resistances. So you want to make sure, do not rush this item. This is not an item you should ever rush because it provides no health. And it's obviously not an item you should ever build on something like an ADC or an AP mid. The only AP mids who could get away with it are maybe Galio, Mordekaiser, you know, there's tanky AP mids. Swain maybe is another one, but personally I'd rather just go for more tank and more AP on Swain. But yeah, it's not an item you ever want to rush because it does provide no AP, no health whatsoever. So if you see someone rushing it, that's bad. You're probably going to lose that game. You got to have some health to back up those resistances if you want it to be effective. Just going to keep farming here. No point trying to harass the Sandra at all because she can always out-trade me with her stupid poke. So we're going to just go behind the wave and keep proxying. Lysandra is shite at last hitting under towers. So it's good for us. We can get more minions. Lysandra's losing minions. But the problem is Hecarim is going to start camping us this game, which is actually turns out to be good. This is what you want to be doing as Proxy Singed. You want to have the jungler camping you. You want to have them coming for you over and over so that your other lanes can get advantages. You basically want to be a giant, annoying, distracting machine, basically. And here, I don't know why Shaco doesn't go for Lysandra. I mean, sure, she has her W, but if he stealthed in and, you know, used his ship poison and water attacked her, she probably would have just died straight away. So, a bit weird, but that's alright. Shaco's, me and Shaco are going to make some good plays this game. He's going to come in for some nice ganks, and we're going to do pretty well. He also fucks with Hecarim quite a bit in his jungle here. If I were this Hecarim, I'd be very annoyed. I don't like Shaco at all. But, yeah. He's going to do some work early against his Hecarim, and then Hecarim's going to camp us, so he's going to be wasting a lot of time, even though he does get kills. Because Singed can survive being dead. Singed can die 10 times in a game and still come back and carry. He just needs to farm. Lysandra is very often seen as a counterpick to Singed. She is, in a sense, but if you play Proxy Singed, not really. Unless the enemy team has something like a Jarvan or someone who can also lock you down. Lysandra's CC itself isn't that big of a deal once you get Merc Treads. You can shrug it off pretty easily. And of course, if she goes for the roll build, which she is this game, she does a lot less damage. So, gonna just grab the next wave here. Gotta be careful because we do have no ghost. Hecarim comes in again. And we're going to get locked up. Going to almost escape here, but Lysandra's going to flash and throw our last eye shard at us. And going to die again. But that's alright, because Hecarim, I now know that Hecarim is sitting top a lot. So I want to keep being aggressive. I want to keep making sure that he's up here so that our team can get the advantage. Going to rush those Merc Treads, because once again, you don't want to be gangbanged by Lysandra and Hecarim with all their fucking CC. And those Merc Treads are actually going to save my life here when Hecarim comes to gank again. So it's very useful to get them early on in matchups like this, especially if it's good against the entire enemy team. Because the enemy team is, you know, Lysandra and Lux, who have a lot of CC. And they're also AP, so Merc Treads help out a lot in that regard. Lysandra's sticky around here for a bit longer than she should. So I'm going to start grabbing this wave. I know I'm going to hit 6 off of it, so I flip her back. Try and get the minions, wait until I hit 6, and then once I do, I'm going to pop my ult and try to get some harass down on her, try and force her out of lane. Then Hecarim comes along. I probably should have expected this. I get completely locked up in all this CC, but like I said, the Merc Treads do work here. It's really good to rush them against the Lysandra matchup. Hecarim smarts me, that's alright. I'm going to drop down my Mega Red Haste there and just run out. Quite simply. I got my teleport so I can come right back to lane. At this point I tell my team Hecarim is camping top. Make sure you tell them that. Don't tell them that as like a... Don't be like, oh, Hex camping top. Where's my fucking jungler? Fucking jungler shit, not helping. If someone's camping you should be happy. That means that you know that they're going to be in your lane most of the time. So you can play accordingly. And your team can get advantages around the map. Especially if they're camping top lane, because that leaves the jungler far away from Dragon. So if you manage to out-duke them top lane, or even turn around and get a kill on the jungler at top lane, it almost guarantees a dragon for your team. Keep proxying here. No point slapping down that tower. Might as well let it take as many minions as possible. It's going to go down pretty soon anyway. Lysandra can't really do much to stop it. Can't wave around. Walk in the bush a bit here because I see Lysandra's there. Don't want to take any free poke if I can. Notice that Hecarim's blue buff is up, but can't really take it. I'm going to ward it though, just so, because my ward's about to expire here, so just want to see if he comes to get it. That ward right there in the center of the crossroads, that has won me so many games just on its own. Because, not just because I can get executed if the enemy laner tries to come get me while I'm proxying, or the enemy jungler does, but just because if, you know, your mid laner sees the enemy jungler low in their jungle, they'll see him on that ward and they'll come roam and get kills. Like Ari does that a few times in this game. So it's a very good ward to have just for your team in general. even as a mid laner, if you can run in there, if you're a good roaming mid laner like Ari or Katarina or Kali, just try and run into the enemy's jungle if you can. If you know it's safe, obviously don't if you have no vision at all. But just try and get wards down there, because it's a great spot to get a ward down. It gives you so much vision and knowledge of where the enemy jungler is. Here we're in for a double proxy, pretty risky one because I don't have much eyes on Zz'Rot, but I reckon I can out-juke him if he comes. So I'm just going to come in here for the wave. Zz'Rot comes along. That's alright, he's losing minions here, and he's not going to kill me. So, that's good. Ari's going to come into the jungle here, and she's going to take out Hecarim, like I said before. So that was very effective. That was a good double proxy, even though if it was a bit risky, it worked out in the end. And Hecarim's just going to have a bad game, this game. Poor pony. But he recently got buffed. I think it's pretty interesting, because I thought Hecarim was pretty strong in the new jungle if you build a Ranger's Trailblazer on him. But I guess now that now you can build the Chilling Smite Machete, which is probably better for him. But the new buff means that you don't have to take 2 points in W early on. You can just go QWE or QWQ. You don't have to go QWWE. So, yeah, it's a pretty significant buff to Hecarim. I think he's going to see a lot more play now. But, yeah, he's not going to have a good game this game. Once again, I'm seeing Hecarim on the ward in the jungle, so I know my team knows that, like I said, that ward is so good, because now my team knows that he's up there, bot lane can play more aggressive, Ari's going to go in for a gank on bot lane there, as you can see on the mini-map. That's going to work out well for us, but he's going to come here. Fortunately, I know Shaco's nearby, so I'm going to do a very dubious flip right there. It was the wrong way to flip him, but that's alright, because that tower's very low, so we're going to grab it and then pick up Hecarim. I'll try and grab the wave first, but yeah, that tower's about to go down. Hecarim he probably had time to recall. If he ran to the top lane brush and recalled, he probably could have gone away. But instead, Shaco's going to pick him up here. Or am I going to pick him up? I pick him up. That's good. It's always better if Shaco doesn't get kills. Yeah, not because I hate Shaco or anything, but because Shaco is meant to be a guy who snowballs lanes. There's a very good saying I once heard. A 008 Shaco is much scarier than an 800 Shaco. Because if a Shaco with 8 kills is pretty much going to be useless late game, all he can do is try and one-shot the ADC or split push. But a Shaco with 8 assists means that he's got all of his lanes fed early on, and they're just going to fucking destroy you. But, so fortunately in this game, Shaco doesn't take too many kills. I managed to get quite a few, which helps me get that portal quicker. We're going to get it around the 22-minute mark, around there. Right now we're just stacking up our tier, got our Giant Spelt to build into our Rala's Crystal Scepter. And we're going to head back to lane and keep proxying. Teleport is up, so I'm going to be constantly looking around at the map for things to teleport to. But right now bot lane's destroying pretty hard, and there's not really much action to teleport to, so I can just continue farming. There were no wards nearby there, so teleport probably would have been a waste of time. But the bot side jungle is also warded very well, so Blitzcrank did a good job warding. So we basically have eyes on Hecarim all the time with wards in both of his jungles. Now here's a situation where I'm talking about with the Zz'Rot portal. Here I am, I have my teleport up, I'm split pushing, but you do no damage to the towers. With the Zz'Rot portal, you're going to see, I'll put that down by doing this, and suddenly that turret's half health. It's really good. It doesn't kick in straight away. I think you need 4 Voidlings to spawn before it starts doing full damage. But it will do a lot of damage when those creeps suicide bomb the tower. It's not so much wave pushing that it's good at. It does help push the wave quite a bit, but it's mainly this is why it's such a good item on Singed, specifically Proxy Singed, because you want to make sure that the wave is already pushed, so the Zz'Rot portal can go straight to the tower and doesn't have to attack any minions. You will destroy towers so fast if you do that. If you're interested, you can check the link in the description. I'll put a link to a map I made in MS Paint that gets the job done, of a basically ideal locations to place the Zz'Rot portal, and what towers they will reach from those locations, provided there are no minions in the way. It was actually got to like the 10th most top upvoted post on Summoner School on Reddit. I don't know how, 10 minutes and MS Paint goes a long way, but yeah, check out that map if you want. I'm just going to come in here for a gank onto bot lane. I should have ganked to those minions at the back, and I forgot to turn on my poison here. Oops. But that's alright, we still managed to get a return kill against Lux for Graves. That's alright. But yeah, like I said, check out that map if you want. I give ideal split push locations for top and bot lane and the mid lane inhibitor turrets. So when this item becomes re-enabled, when they re-enable it, you'll sort of know where to put them. It's a pretty high skill cap item. You need to know where to put it. You can't just drop it in the middle of the lane. I mean, you can, but it's not going to last very long. You want to try and put it in bushes so that the enemy has to wonder where it is. It's not completely obvious to them. But yeah, you'll see that a bit later on. This is still one of my testing games, so I didn't have the ideal location set out there. But I'll try and point out some of the errors I made in this game when I get there. Don't want to chase down the Sandra here. I could kill her. Oh, actually, no, I couldn't. If I had my ult, I could kill her if she wasn't the Sandra. But she's the Sandra. She just CC me for days and run away. I want to try and flip her here so I can get her behind me so I can go to proxy this wave. But then I suddenly realized I'm half health and, you know, Lysandra can still do damage. Even though she has Rod of Ages, she can still do damage. So I'm going to lag it here. And intuition paid off. Here comes Lysandra. That's alright, we just got to run away. She can't really catch us because she already used her E. Some crazy shit going on bot lane. That sucks. One more auto attack probably would have killed Hecarim there with the red buff on Ari. That's unfortunate. Got enough for our Rylai's now, so we're going to head back. And now that we got our Rylai's, we're going to build the portal. Now, I like getting it after Rylai's because, like I said, you get the health from Tear and Rylai, or Rod of Ages and Rylai's, whichever build you prefer. You get the health from those, and then you get to supplement the resistances from the portal. So you want to make sure you at least have your Rylai's. Rylai's is the core item on Singed. You always need to have it. It should be your main priority to get. But after that, builds can vary. Typically, I like to go Liandry's or tank if I'm doing particularly bad, like Randuin's. But now I prefer to go to Zz'Rot portal and either go tank after that or Liandry's after that. Either way, it turns Singed away from like the previous build did, where he was sort of like a team fighter a bit more. He could do a lot more damage in team fights to more of a utility split pusher. So he's more utility in team fights. He's more peel, but he can split push a lot more effectively. So that's what the Zz'Rot portal Singed build really does. You have to sacrifice getting Liandry's earlier for a bit more split pushing power. So in that way, I guess you could try and make an informed decision. Are we team fighting more? Am I making more teleport plays? In that case, maybe you should go for Liandry's first and then go for the portal. Or if you're just doing completely bad and you really need tank and there's not really opportunities to split push at all, then probably just avoid the portal altogether and go for Randuin's. And then if you feel like it afterwards, you can build the portal or Liandry's, or maybe just not build the portal at all. I still think that even though I'll build it a lot on Singed, I reckon in the coming months or however long it remains in its current state, it doesn't get nerfed. I don't think it should get nerfed. I think it's a pretty well balanced item. I'll probably build it in a lot of games, but not all of them. Yeah, team gets a bit caught out, and Graves is going to want to go in here for some reason. That's a pretty bad idea. Teleport comes in. Even if the teleport wasn't coming in, it'd still be a pretty bad idea. But yeah, he's going to die there. Nothing much I can do. So I'm just going to run out. I'm not laughing. Because you always have to laugh as Singed, no matter what happens. If you just died when you come back to lane, make sure you laugh, just to show your enemy laner that you're not fucked with. You don't give a shit. Kill me all you want. Doesn't matter. But, yeah. We're going to get the non-magic mantle component of our Zz'Rot portal first, because obviously we're up against a lot of AP. Lysandra, AP Ezreal, and the goddamn Lux support. Though I think she actually does build support this game, so good for her. But yeah, Hecarim isn't really going for me, and Caitlyn, I haven't really been fighting much. So, gotta go for that Negatron cloak for, yeah, 2,800 gold, there you go. So, it still provides good stats for that, but it is only about 85% gold efficient. So, you gotta make the decision. Like I said, the hybrid pen is probably the best part about it, because hybrid pen is really good, as I say, on champions like Singed, who don't gain any scaling MR. keeping my eyes peeled on the map because I do have my teleport up. So I want to make sure that I can be in a fight if it happens. Zz'Rot doesn't have very good tower pushing ability. She's like Singed in a way. She can clear waves very well, but she can't take down towers that fast, although she does have Spellblade. So she can do it a bit faster than Singed. But I'm just looking out for those teleport plays. I know Zz'Rot's teleport is down because she used it before in that last team fight. So if I teleport, I will have free reign over that fight and she would just have to sit top lane. Not really scared of her damage. I have a lot of MR now, and if things get hairy, I can just pop my ult and run. But I'm just going to farm both top and mid lane right now. This is a good thing to do if your team's ahead when you play Singed and they're all fighting, you know, the bottom side jungle or something. You can push 2 lanes at once. You can basically do a double proxy, but not inside their base. You can just run between top and mid and farm all the waves. And that means you have a lot of pressure. Your team is continuing to push. Well, you're pushing, but you're pushing while your team is doing something else. The enemy team's losing minions, they're losing experience, they're losing gold, and they're taking tower damage while your team is cleaning them up somewhere else. But of course, that's something you can really only do when you're ahead. Proxy Singed is very good, very efficient when your team even has the slightest lead. But if your team starts to go downhill, it can be a bit harder to carry them. Singed isn't a hyper carry really. He's not, you know, Riven or something who can get a few kills and snowball. Singed, even with a few kills, it can be a bit iffy carrying a team that's just losing every lane. Which is why he's not a champion I would consistently recommend for like solo queue climbing. He's a champion that most people play because he's fun to play. I play Singed because I like to play him. I think he's really trolly, really fun. And he's just a champion that fits my playstyle so much. He kills people by running around. He's one of the most unique champions in the game. I love playing him. But if you're looking to gain elo, just play something like Rise Top. Rise Top got nerfed, but Rise Top is really powerful. But if you're someone like me who loves to have fun, then play some Singed. Learn him, he becomes a really efficient champion, especially if you learn Proxy Singed. But just remember that you'll feed a lot while learning Proxy Singed. I did. I almost gave up. I'm just like, fuck this, I can't play this, this is shit. But then I just keep watching people who knew how to play it and were doing well, and I eventually just got the hang of it. So make sure you check out videos on YouTube. Not just mine, but there are a lot of other people who do YouTube videos on Proxy Singed. So make sure you check them out if you want to get better. That's just a good thing to do for anything you want to learn in League. Make sure you watch a lot of videos, not just to copy what people are doing, but to see how they play. See how specifically they play in lane, how aggressive they are, how defensive they play in certain matchups, etc. That's how I learn how to play properly. I'll just watch Voyboy's videos, not to copy him or do anything, but just to see how he played in lane against certain matchups. And that alone, along with Rise, carried me to Platinum Elo. So, I picked up the Zz'Rot portal here. I'm eyeing Shaker's box there because I know I can teleport in if anyone goes for it. Shaker comes in, Hecarim goes for his blue, and I secure the kill. Come on, I need to get something. I teleported in. But yeah, I put down my portal in that bush there. Now that is one of the ideal locations to place the portal, and you're going to see Lyssandra's a bit gobsmacked by it at first. She's like, what does this thing do? But as you can see, it spawns these little voidlings, and they basically suicide bomb the tower and attack the minion waves. You're going to see it here when the minion wave push. There you go, it smashes into the tower and does a significant amount of damage. I flipped the Lysandra into Ahri there, which probably wasn't a good idea. Do some very weird flips this game. But we get the kill there, and Zz'Rot can't really do much. And the Zz'Rot portal is doing work. Took out that tower along with the team. Now, the bad thing about that, putting the portal in that location there, is the minions will not be able to reach the enemy's inhibitor tower from that bush. That's the weakness of putting it there. It's really only good for taking the tier 2 tower. If you want to put it to take out the enemy's inhibitor turret, then there's another spot that I'll show you in this video where you can put it. But yeah, like I said, if you're wondering where you want to put them to get certain towers, check the link in the description. It's a link to a Reddit post on Summoner School, like I said, where I list out the ideal locations. It's a map with the ideal locations as well as what turrets the Zz'Rot portal will be able to get to. Maximum range with no minions in the way. And also another good thing about the portal is anything that the minions kill will also give you the gold. So in that way, I think that's a bit misleading in a way, because it makes you think you can use it to supplement, no, not supplement, sorry, to start your own split push. But like I said, that item is not for creating its own split push. Now, you can do certain things like use it to maybe stall the enemy's super minion wave if you're doing it for round. if you're going for Baron and you've got an inhibitor down. It can help stall the wave a little bit, so it could be the difference between losing a tower while winning a team fight near Baron and not losing a tower. But 90% of the time, you want to be in the lane next to it while it's active, so you can push those minions down so that it can get to the tower. Because like I said, if you build this item, you're building it on someone who doesn't split push towers very fast. You're building it on people like Singed, Shen, I don't know, Yorick. Apparently Yorick's a thing. But there are, like, the tanky champions you just won't do damage to towers. Nautilus, I guess, if you ever played lane Nautilus, which I haven't seen in a very long time. I don't think it would really work on jungle Nautilus all that well. But yeah, you want to build it on champions who don't split push towers fast at all, like Singed. So you always want to be there with it to clear those minion waves, because the portal is not going to do much on its own, and it is fairly easy to destroy. The portal cannot be targeted by skill shots. It must be attacked with auto attacks. And unlike wards, it doesn't have a it takes 3 hits from any auto attack. It actually has a set amount of health. So the enemy's 80 carry will take out the portal a lot quicker than the enemy's 80 carry, AP carry. Now, here is the position for putting the portal in if you want to take down inhibitor turrets. Now, this is actually not completely ideal. What you want to do is you want to put the portal back against the wall there. You want to put it far back against the wall where that torch is, not against the enemy's base wall, but against the wall of the jungle there. That way, because as you can see here, the enemy team is auto-attacking it over the wall. You don't want that. You want to try and put the portal as far back as you can, so that the enemy team won't be auto-attacking it. You don't want to put it too far back, because you want those minions to keep coming out and get to the tower pretty quickly. But you don't want to put it that close, because otherwise it will just get auto-attacked over the tower and go down very quickly. Unfortunately, our team's pretty fed, so we're just going to go in here, and the portal is just going to help us push the wave. It's going to attack the minions. The inhibitor's laser tower, the inhibitor tower's laser takes it down fairly quickly, but it's still going to help out. As you can see, the fact that it scales off of 50% of your total armor and MR means that it does a significant amount of damage if you're a tank, and it's also the reason why you shouldn't build it on 80 carries or AP carries or anything like that, because it scales off of your AP, your armor and magic resist. So if you're an AP or 80 carry, you don't get lots of armor and magic resist. So like I said, do not build this item on 80 or AP carries. It is bad. Do not build it. I'm serious. I know a lot of you guys are hyped up and like, oh, it's a new item, I'm going to build it on 80 carries, it's OP, with split push, but don't do it. It's not going to work. This item is for very few champions who have trouble pushing down towers, and it's very effective at what it does, as you can see right here. Now Lux tries to destroy my portal here, but I don't want none of that. Screw you, Lux. I'm going to teleport to the portal which you can do, by the way. You can teleport to them. And doing that is going to allow some more of the Voidlings to come out, and me and them are going to take down the tower right there. Now, Voidlings will also attack inhibitors, but there's something I've noticed. I don't know specifically how it works, but they will attack inhibitors. I think if an enemy wave spawns, it'll instead go for the wave instead of the inhibitor. I don't know why. Maybe they'll fix that when it gets re-enabled, but that's what I've noticed. It's not 100% reliable when attacking inhibitors. Sometimes it goes straight for the enemy waves and ignores the inhibitor. It just does weird things. Sometimes I think it might be that if there's an inhibitor but there's already a destroyed inhibitor, it will instead go for the enemy's Nexus turrets. It's like, I can attack the enemy's Nexus turrets. I'll attack the Nexus turrets then instead of the inhibitor. But if there's no inhibitors destroyed, then it recognizes that it can't attack the Nexus turrets and it instead goes for the inhibitor. I don't know how it works. It's weird. But I'm sure we'll get some clarity on that eventually. Now that's a good spot to put the portal in for a mid inhibitor tower and mid inhibitor split push right there. But pushing mid with it is not really ideal because it's too easy to destroy. There's not really many good places you can put it. Another team fight here. The March, just gonna clean up here. I get CC for days, but that's alright. That's a bit of a weird flip right there. I think Caitlyn netted exactly when I flipped, so in the end she just moved nowhere. A bit weird. I'm just going to take down the inhibitors here. Don't have my poor lop, so I can't drop it down for the swag, but that's alright. And apparently Heckram thinks that Singed with the new item is bad, but Fed Singed is bad, no matter what. It's really it's a fairly high skill cap item. You need to know when to use it. You can't just put it anywhere and have it be effective. Remember, it's not gold efficient, even though it does give hybrid pen. It is not a gold efficient item in hybrid pen. Hybrid defenses. It is not a gold efficient item in and of itself. You need to use the active effectively to actually take full advantage of it. Otherwise, you're just wasting gold. As you can see me typing in chat here, right now, because the item's just been released, people are so distracted by it. Everyone's like, oh, we gotta destroy that portal, it's OP. It's not. Don't. If you're on the enemy team in this situation, you shouldn't be going crazy to kill that portal. I think people overestimate it a bit. It will push down towers fast, but not that fast, especially if there's no one there to clear your minion wave for it to get to the tower. So don't go crazy and do suicidal shit to get the portals, because it's not worth it. And also don't go crazy and be suicidal trying to defend them. I mean, if you can defend them, obviously that's good, but if you're putting yourself at risk to defend the portal, don't bother. You get another one in 2.5 minutes. And we're just going to end out the game here, not much to it. So there's the new portal right there. It's a fairly fun item, I really like it. It's good on Singed, probably good on Shen as well. Good on tanks that need pushing power, and gives them some threat with teleport. But yeah, thank you all for watching. If you're from Summoner School, make sure that you check out the link in the description. If you've been on there in the last few days, you've probably seen it. It was like the top of the goddamn fucking subreddit. It's really weird. I don't know how 10 minutes of pain got me that, but there you go. So make sure you check that out. It gives some ideal locations for placing the portal. And I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you learned a bit about Proxy Singed here. Have a great day, guys. Keep playing, keep practicing.